Dear learners, welcome to the course Electromagnetic Fields. In this video, we are going to discuss about vector algebra. Generally, the physical quantities involved in the study of electromagnetics are classified into scalar quantity and vector quantity. The scalar quantity, which is completely described by its magnitude. The quantities which are described by its magnitude and its direction is called as vector quantities. First, we are going to discuss examples for scalar quantities. We know that a physical quantity that can be completely described by its magnitude is called as scalar. Examples are time, mass, distance, temperature, entropy, electric potential and population. Vector quantities, velocity, force, displacement and electric field intensity are examples for vector quantities. That means vector quantities are quantities that can be completely described by its magnitude as well as direction. Next, we are going to talk about field. A field is a spatial distribution of a physical quantity which may or may not be a function of time. So here we are going to discuss about scalar field and vector field. If the physical quantity is a scalar quantity, that will be called as a scalar field. If it is a physical quantity is a vector quantity, that will be called as a vector field. A field is a region in which a particular physical function has a value at each and every point in that region. The distribution of scalar quantity with a definite position in a space is called scalar field. Examples for scalar field are the temperature of atmosphere. It has a definite value in the atmosphere but no need of direction to specify it. Hence, it is a scalar field. Another example, the height of surface of earth above sea level is a scalar field. Sound intensity in an auditorium, light intensity in a room and atmospheric pressure in a given region. These are examples for scalar field. If a quantity which is specified in a region to define a field is a vector, then the corresponding field is called a vector field. Here I have listed some examples for vector field. Gravitational force on a mass in a space is a vector field. This force has a value at various points in a space and always has a specific direction. And another example, the velocity of particles in a moving field. Find velocity of atmosphere, voltage gradient in a cable, displacement of a flying bird in space, magnetic field existing from north to south field, etc. These are some examples for vector field. So next we are going to discuss about how to represent a vector. Generally, vector is represented in a two dimension. A vector is represented by a straight line with an arrow in a plane. It is illustrated in this figure. The length of the segment is the magnitude of a vector, while the arrow indicates the direction of the vector in a given coordinate system. So in this figure, the vector is symbolically denoted as OA vector. The point O is its starting point, while A is the terminating point. Its length is called its magnitude, which is R for the vector OA, shown in this figure. It is represented as modulus of OA vector is equal to R. It is the distance between the starting point and terminating point of a vector. Another important one is unit vector. A unit vector has a function to indicate the direction. Its magnitude is always unity irrespective of the direction which it indicates and the coordinate system under consideration. Thus, for any vector to indicate its direction, a unit vector can be used. Here, we consider a unit vector AOA vector in the direction of OA vector as shown in this figure. This vector indicates the direction of OA vector, but its magnitude is unity. So, vector OA can be represented completely as its magnitude or under the direction as indicated by unit vector along its direction. OA vector is equal to modulus of OA vector AOA vector, that is magnitude R into the unit vector AOA vector. Unit vector can be expressed as AOA vector is equal to OA vector by modulus of OA vector. That is vector divided by the magnitude of the vector. Coplanar vectors. Coplanar vectors means the vectors which lie in the same plane. That means here we consider A vector and B vector. These two vectors are coplanar vectors. That means A vector and B vector lie in the same plane. Next we are going to talk about vector algebra. That means we are going to discuss about the addition, subtraction and multiplication operations on vectors. First one is addition of vectors. Here we consider two coplanar vectors, that is A vector and B vector, which is in figure. Okay. Let us find the sum of these two vectors, A vector and B vector. The sum of two vectors can be found by two different ways, by the parallelogram rule and the head to tail rule. We can use any one of the rule to find the addition of two vectors. In the first case, in the parallelogram rule, complete the parallelogram as shown in the figure. Then the diagonal of the parallelogram represents the addition of two vectors. Once the coordinate systems are defined, then the vectors can be expressed in terms of the components along the axis of the coordinate system. Then by adding the corresponding component of the vectors, then the components of resultant vector, which is the addition of the vectors, can be obtained. This method is explained after the coordinate systems are discussed. Okay. So, C vector is equal to A vector plus B vector. In another rule is head to tail rule. The procedure is to move one of the two vectors parallel to itself at the tip of the other vector. Thus moves A vector parallel to itself at the tip of the B vector. Then join tip of A vector moved to the origin. This vector represents resultant, which is the addition of the two vectors A vector and B vector. So now let us denote the resultant C vector is equal to A vector plus B vector. Vector addition obeys commutative law, associative law and distributive law. The commutative law, A vector plus B vector is equal to B vector plus A vector. Associative law, it also obeys associative and distributive laws. Then vector subtraction. The subtraction of vectors can be obtained from the rules of addition. If B vector is to be subtracted from A vector, then based on addition it can be represented as C vector is equal to A vector plus minus B vector. Thus, reverse the sign of B vector, that is reverse its direction by multiplying it with the minus 1 and then add it to A vector to obtain the subtraction, which is illustrated in figure. So, therefore, C vector is equal to A vector minus B vector. Next, identical vectors. Two vectors are said to be identical if their difference is 0. That means A vector and B vector both are identical means A vector minus B vector is equal to 0. That is A vector is equal to B vector. Such two vectors is also called as equal vectors. Next vector operation is vector multiplication. Vector multiplication, there are two types of multiplication, scalar or dot product of vector, vector or cross product of vectors. First let us see scalar or dot product of vectors. The scalar or dot product of two vectors, A vectors and B vectors, is denoted as A vector dot B vector and defined as the product of the magnitude of A, the magnitude of B and the cosine of the smaller angle between them. It can also be defined as the product of magnitude of B vector and the projection of A vector onto B vector or vice versa. Mathematically, it is expressed as A vector dot B vector is equal to modulus of A vector modulus of B vector cos theta AB. The result of such a dot product is a scalar, hence it is also called as scalar product. Next we are going to discuss about properties of dot product. The first property is if two vectors are parallel to each other. That means the angle between the two vectors will be 0. So therefore cos 0 is equal to 1. Thus A vector dot B vector is equal to modulus of A vector modulus of B vector cos 0. Cos 0 is 1. So therefore it becomes A vector dot B vector is equal to modulus of A vector modulus of B vector for parallel vectors. The second property, if two vectors are perpendicular to each other, the theta will be 90 degree. So cos 90 degree is equal to 0. So therefore dot product of A vector and B vector becomes 0 for perpendicular vectors. In other words, if dot product of the two vectors is 0, the two vectors are perpendicular to each other. The third property is the dot product obeys commutative law. A vector dot B vector is equal to B vector dot A vector. Fourth one is the dot product obeys distributive law. A vector dot B vector plus C vector is equal to A vector dot B vector plus A vector dot C vector. If the dot product of vector with itself is performed, the result is square of the magnitude of that vector is the fifth property. That means A vector is dot product with the A vector, we get the square of the vector. The next one is, we are going to consider unit vectors in Cartesian coordinate systems. There are three unit vectors, Ax vector, Ay vector, Az vector in x, y and z directions respectively. All these vectors are mutually perpendicular to each other. Hence the dot product of different unit vectors is 0. Ax vector dot Ay vector is equal to ay vector dot ax vector is equal to ax vector dot az vector is equal to az dot ax vector is equal to ay vector dot az vector is equal to az vector dot ay vector is equal to 0. That means the ax dot ay is equal to 0. Since x and y mutually perpendicular to each other, the angle between x and y is 90 degree. So cos 90 degree is 0. So therefore a vector dot b vector becomes 0. So then similarly ax vector dot ay vector becomes 0 in other direction, in different directions. Okay. And the seventh one is, if unit vectors dotted with itself is unity, that is ax vector dot ax vector is equal to 1. Similarly for y and z. Okay. So that means the angle between the unit vectors is 0. Cos 0 is 1. So therefore the product of ax dot ax becomes 1. Similarly for ay vector dot ay vector and az vector dot az vector is equal to 1. And the eighth property is, we are going to consider two vectors in Cartesian coordinate systems. A vector is equal to ax vector plus ay vector plus az vector, and b vector is equal to bx vector plus by vector plus bz vector. Now we are going to take the dot product of a vector and b vector. A vector dot b vector becomes ax bx plus ay by plus az bz. So already we discussed the dot product of the unit vectors. In the same direction it becomes 1. In different direction it becomes 0. So these are the properties of dot product of vectors. Next we are going to discuss about the cross product of vectors. So let us consider two vectors, a vector and b vector. Then the cross product is denoted as a vector cross b vector, and it is defined as the product of the magnitudes of a vector and b vector and the sine of the smaller angle between a vector and b vector. But this product is a vector quantity and has a direction perpendicular to the plane containing the two vectors a vector and b vector. But for any plane, there are two perpendicular directions, upwards and downwards. To avoid the confusions, the direction of the cross product is along the perpendicular direction to the plane, which is in the direction of advancements of a right-handed screw when a vector is turned into a b vector. Thus, right-handed screw rule decides the direction of the cross product, which is illustrated in the first figure, where a vector cross b vector is equal to modulus of a vector modulus of b vector sin theta ab an vector. Here this an vector is a unit vector perpendicular to the plane of a vector and b vector in the direction decided by the right hand screw rule. The concept of a vector is depicted in this figure. Next we are going to discuss about the properties of vector product or cross product. First one is, the commutative law is not applicable to the cross product. That means a vector cross b vector is not equal to b vector cross a vector. So consider two vectors a vector and b vector. Okay, which is shown in the figure. Then a vector cross b vector gives unit vector an vector in the upward direction. But if we consider b vector cross a vector is obtained, then the direction of an vector must be determined by rotating b vector into a vector, which results into downward direction. This is shown in the figure. So hence cross product is not commutative. Second property is reversing the order of the vectors A vector and B vector. A unit vector an vector reverses its direction. Hence we can write B vector cross A vector is equal to minus of A vector cross B vector. It is an anti-commutative in nature. If order of cross product is changed, the magnitude remains the same but direction gets reversed. Third property is the cross product is not associative. Thus, A vector cross B vector cross C vector is not equal to A vector cross B vector cross C vector. And fourth property is with respect to addition, the cross product is distributive. Thus, A vector cross within bracket B vector plus C vector is equal to A vector cross B vector plus A vector cross C vector. Next one is, if the two vectors are parallel to each other, that is, they are in the same direction, then theta is equal to 0 degree and hence cross product of such two vectors is 0. Thus, if cross product of two vectors is 0, then those two vectors are parallel to each other or in the same direction, assuming none of the two vectors itself is 0. And the next property is, if the cross product of a vector A vector with itself is calculated, it is 0 as theta is equal to 0 degree. A vector cross A vector is equal to 0. Next, cross product of unit vectors. Consider the unit vectors Ax vector, Ay vector and Az vector which are mutually perpendicular to each other are shown in this figure. Then Ax vector cross Ay vector is equal to modulus of Ax, modulus of Ay sin 90 degree An vector. In this case, An vector is equal to Az vector. So therefore, Ax vector cross Ay vector is equal to Az vector. Similarly, for Ay vector cross Az vector is equal to Ax vector. But if the order of unit vectors is reversed, then the result is negative of the remaining third unit vector. Thus, Ay vector cross Ax vector is equal to minus Az vector. Next, Az vector cross Ay vector is equal to minus Ax vector. Similarly, Ax vector cross Az vector is equal to minus Ay vector. This can be remembered by a circle indicating cyclic permutations of cross products of unit vectors, which are illustrated in this figure. While as cross product of a vector with itself is 0, we can write Ax vector cross Ax vectors is equal to 0. Similarly, Ay vector cross Ay vector is equal to 0. Az vector cross Az vector is equal to 0. And this figure, it illustrates the unit vectors, the result of the application for the unit vectors in the other two coordinate system, that is cylindrical coordinate system and the spherical coordinate system. So from this we can very clear about how we represent a vector and what are the vector operations, how we add the two vectors and subtraction of vectors, and how we find out product of any two vectors. So, cross product in determinant form is another property of the cross product. We consider two vectors A vector and B vector in Cartesian coordinate systems. We take cross product of two vectors A vector cross B vector, and it becomes AX, AY, AZ is the first row of the determinant of the matrix, and the second row is the vector component of the first vector. The third row of the matrix is the vector component of the second vector in Cartesian coordinate system. And in the cylindrical coordinate system, the vector components are AR, A5, AZ. For a B vector, BR, B5, BZ. Okay. In a cylindrical coordinate system, this is the determinant. This is the determinant form, and the third one is spherical coordinate system. The vector components and the unit vectors are in the first row we represent the unit vector in spherical coordinate system AR, A theta, A5. The second row is the vector component of the first vector AR, A theta, A5. The third row is the vector component of the B vector, that is BR, B theta, B5. Okay. So I hope you could understand the basics of a vector and what are all the various vector operations. Thank you.